What is up, guys? Shaq Maverick here, and welcome back to the Talks Near Me podcast, the show where we share our advice to our audience that could use talk therapy to improve mental health. We also uncover your popular media franchises and our favorite pop culture content. So welcome back to our discussion about the transformation in the travel industry. I think it's like the fourth part, maybe, or fifth. I don't know, I lost track at this point. Anyway, so the article I published, continuing on, the article I published shows the market data of what their, prerequisites need in order to keep like their businesses going. So it shows how the Atlantis itself is losing money. It shows how the entire consortium with Bahamas is losing money. It shows even the Hilton Hotels groups, Warwick, etc. They're not gonna admit it. Like only statements they'll say like our numbers says otherwise within the past year, or like not say like what 5 or 4 years. Of course they're not gonna say that. But the guys doesn't know what he's talking about. Some people might even say it really depends. I mean, I totally get it for companies where they would say that kind of thing. They gotta protect their reputation. So yeah. So anyway, I challenge you to whoever's your partner, in position, no matter what it is, to show, adequate returns for your establishments. But do they have the goals to go through with it? Like, you don't need a professional like myself to tell you, what's going on. Like, I'm not the only one saying it. In fact, look at the real estate business, of the hotels. Like, don't tell me I gotta show you how to potty train and spoon feed it to you too. Like, come on, like seriously, come on. Okay, so it's just an industry in the hospitality or lodging business. Like the hotels and the resorts are in. Like it's modeled that involves like it's modeled that involves like real estate and shareholding that boosts their profit. So it's a no-brainer. Lukian's articles even reference successful real estate investors like Dillman Tillman from Texas, like with his hotel. If you don't know who Dillman Tillman is, that's like, I mean, I don't expect you to, but that's a really like successful multi-billionaire himself. He's been in the industry and he's killing it. Like he's one of the ones that are leading, I think, most outstanding in the restaurant business as well. So yeah, he got that down, And you know who else as well? As like a billionaire who's successful in the hotel industry? Donald Trump. Yeah, President Donald Trump himself, the industrious billionaire with his hotel he has in Florida. And then you got, out of like also one of the major ball players, you got Disney. Disney themselves got their own hotel. In case you didn't know that, yeah, they got their own hotel. So yeah, you can always just make plans and trips there as well. So it's a lot when it comes to competition, at least especially for like in the Bahamas itself. Like they gotta be aware of that kind of stuff. For Disney, yeah, they're like the major ball player. They always know what they're doing. Like they always know how to deliver, especially too. So it's like anything you see them do, they always do things at a phenomenal pace. Like they just hosted their D22 in late 2019. Especially like it shows like a showcase with their core concept about their transaction they had with Alufa itself within the Bahamas, with their cruise line and what they're doing. So from since then, like the government of the Bahamas had permitted it. So let's not forget, like they already have a few hotels in the US. And then they got like other cruise lines that like just travel throughout the Caribbean. And this will be like their second acquisition of like ownership on some property for islands. So keep that in mind, like complete ownership. So, and then I think there's an issue. The locals here are complaining about them with some sort of lighthouse issue. Don't know too much effect about it, but I know it's their private property. Whatever they want to do with it, it's up to them. So I don't think that's really any of the locals' businesses. Anyhow, so of course you have hospitality brands like Marriott International, Intercontinental Hotel Group. You got Accors, you got Blackstone Group. They're already in the works with these advancements in technology, and adapting to the market so they get to prolong their businesses, into the future. Like they're trying to go there. They're not worried about 1 year or two. They're worried about like 30 to 60 years, like even maybe to 100 at max, maybe even beyond. They're worried about that. So how do people forget that like Donald had his own affairs in ownership, like with the Atlantis too. Like I think he done it like not too long ago, before he was even considered running for president, like way long ago before then. Before a lot of people even knew him. You'd be surprised how many persons he've come across. He's a really good networker, really really good. So what did his team and himself decide before like ending the cooperations for the Atlantis? Like you gotta wonder that. Like maybe he was like, oh, we got this place. I'd rather just go back and just, have my own stuff going on for me. So we're gonna, oh no, wait. Oh no, wait. Hold on. Right. So far we've uncovered quite a lot. Like we talked about the reasons why people travel. We talked about the technology that opportunists are taking and what they provide for their improvements for their guest experiences. We talked about how the hotels and resorts, even in the Bahamas, is being affected. And there's so much more. It's literally impossible to like uncover like everything, So just those like as key takeaways, like it's more exciting for myself and my company just to start like Lucans Enterprises to like use the information and provide these services to the businesses and its guests. You see, so we're gonna try and wrap this up. Maybe like one or two more parts left. So what we decided to offer is our proposition to like the eligible hotels and resorts that we could work with that we would like to share and show them the improved results, like not just someone just simply talks and speculation. Like I mean, of course, it's more than enough just to show what it is, but we ourselves as like executioners, so we really want to improve the experience for the travelers that are coming here, especially. So we've been in the work sense with the whole research, and market research and stuff like that will like upgrade the experiences that makes it more worth the visit, especially in value to travelers, lives. So can everyone do it? Well, if you want to take the extra risk and looking for persons who may also be in this field or profession we are in, like I suppose it's not a problem. Like in fact, we'll send you a listing of competitions, like what we have to call them, and it's not like a tactic to say anything that come off as being distinguished or discouraging. It's just we do things that just others don't, that specify to meet our clients' needs. Like I rather just show you so you could see the returns, and then we can have some discussion. Like everybody wants to tell about how better or different they are, but nobody wants to show the deed is done. Like it's like really isn't much I could go about with that. Like that's why they're just saying, what's the saying? Oh, the saying like facta non verba. The deeds, not word, deeds. So in other words, just shut up and please me. Like come on, like be more executioners. Move on. Like stop the unnecessary emotional attachments to what was the thing. Like it's now the thing. You got to keep the thing. Got to keep your thing going, to the next step. Like, forget that old thing. Like, because what's always consistent is change. Like, nothing stays the same. I don't know why we keep fighting that in our nature. It's like biological, it's like common sense. Not common sense, but like, it's like nature, not nature, Mother Nature, you know what I mean? Like, come on, like, or something just godly. Like, stuff just always happens different. I mean, nothing's always different. But anyway, just look at the Bahama bankruptcy, right? Look at that. Like everyone was talking about that. That just went like a whole disaster. It was a disappointment and one of the biggest flops like there were in like the hospitality industry in the Atlantic region. It's like the Fire Festival debacle, like all over again, and they left that for the world to view. Does that mean there's an end for the $4.4 billion debt resort? There's a lot to consider, but the business itself can exceed with growth. Like there's a lot in process like you could have to deal with when filing for Chapter 11, not Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. People tend to confuse bankruptcy for going out of business. It's more to that sense they are types, and Chapter 11 is just a refinancing type of model so that the business will have a higher chance in succeeding. So there's so much to learn and apply. Like, oh my God, it's amazing. Like all I can uncover left for now is in like, just the shareholding and real estate of it. So look at the hotel's income property. Like, oh, this is just for persons that are more like advanced and knowing this stuff. So yeah, or kept up in investing and finances and some accounting, I guess. So just keep this in mind for like any of you out there. So anyway, you have to outmatch their operating expenses, with their acquired revenue from their lodging business. You gotta have you gotta have that income property, and then you have to have that average occupancy rates. You see, so guest checking in, booking out at a longer period of time, or on intervals at like a required minimum. Like let's say semi-annual. Like then you can have a capacity, and the capacity is the room that you have checked in that is collecting income for your property. So take notes. You should take notes if you're listening. Maybe you can look back and say, "Oh, thanks for the information, Zach. Now I can." And I can become a property owner or manager myself in the future. So you have to have filled out like that percentage of your rooms and occupied at a minimum of 90 days out of like the 6 months. So what's the percentage? Like go over your bills, and whatever else you have to pay every year or half a year to keep your operations, your property operational, and then spend it. Jesus, like it's common, like when you figure that out, like you take your figure and then say at least 60% occupied for at least 2/3 in proportion in terms in order to make a profit. I know that might have sounded like a little bit of a mouthful, what I just said, but that was really simple. Maybe I should read it to you again. I was just saying when you figure out the numbers and whatever it costs for your OPEX or your operating expenses, then you take at least 60% occupied, right? For at least 2/3 or 2/3 in proportion to terms in order to make a profit. So you're just taking whatever the term is time. So that's the year. That's what term means, when it comes to like accounting. Like a lot of people misunderstand that sometimes. So I just have to break it down. I'll go more into that in the next segment. But for right now, let me just get on with this one. So then you got real teachers and you got fiduciaries, you got pros, you got real entrepreneurs, even researchers and merited scholars, could understand that phrase. So I just splashed in your face because they understand mathematics and business and economics. So let me try and put it in a like I don't know, simple terms. How can I do that? I don't know any of that right now. Anyway, you just want your property's room occupied at least 60%. So during, more time, you want more of the time of your rooms occupied so that you can expand and make your profit rather than the minimum. So I guess it's as simple as it make it. So anyway, figure it out or hire someone to do it for you. Again, book an appointment because this guy is right here, 242-809-8209 or 786-584-8851. You know what? Like visit the website. Visit lukayans.com, LUKAYANS.com. Like we're gonna cut to our break and return for like the conclusion for this, like short on the Talks Nemi show. Yeah, we'll definitely get back to it. Anyway, I'm your trusted host, Shaq Maverick. Stay tuned to find out what resolutions we have in the works and how you could get started to the transformation industry, whether it's business or pleasure. We got you covered with the rest. Thank you, guys.